dando start nesse primeiro dia de Vogue Negócios, e a gente abre com a empresária e perfumista que entrou para o quadro de funcionários da empresa de sua família em 2011 e co-criou ali o primeiro grande sucesso da perfumaria da casa, o 212, que hoje continua na lista dos 10 perfumes mais vendidos do Brasil, então sucesso mundial. E ela faz parte da elaboração de todas as fragrâncias da Caroline Herrera, desde o conceito até a embalagem. E é também filha da estilista venezuelana Caroline Herrera, um dos nomes mais importantes da moda. Com vocês, Caroline Herrera. Hi, Carolina!
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And thank you for being here at the start, at the opening of our Vogue Negócios. We're very happy.
Me too. I'm so thrilled to be here, especially because it's the first edition. So it's an honor to be asked to be part of this. Thank you.
First edition and first segment of our summit. So I'd like to know, what does leadership mean to you? And when did you recognize yourself as a leader?
I think leadership is responsibility, really. I think it's, being giving a voice, and that always has a responsibility. I actually don't think of myself as a leader. I learn every day things from leaders. But as somebody who is, at the forefront of Caroline Herrera perfumes and beauty, I feel that responsibility.
And do you believe in a post-pandemic leadership style shift? How did you change as the head of Caroline Herrera Beauty in the last year?
I think, the last year has been equally challenging, but also a great opportunity. A great opportunity to be more creative, to be more conscious, to be more caring, to work with a bigger group, and to give a voice to other people in that group. We've depended a lot with everything we've done on the creativity of others, even working from home. So that has been quite a change, and I think super exciting, in terms of leadership as well. Things change, things evolve. It's been a hard year, I think, for everybody, both in all aspects of life, emotionally, economically. I just think in leadership positions, everything. And I think we've had to adapt to that. And I think we've done it quite well, and with the help of everybody involved.
How was it to work from home, leading from home? How was it for you? Was it easy, difficult?
I mean, at first it was strange. We launched our beauty makeup and all that, and lipsticks, and we launched it March 2020. So at first, I think we all got very, panicky and scared. What are we going to do? But I think through great leadership, we all seemed to push forward. And it was actually a very enlightening year, because we realized we could do amazing things, creative things, and from home, working in a different way, not traveling, not having a huge audience face to face, and learning how to do things ourselves and learning how to do things differently. So I think that was a big opportunity. And I think as a team, we all rose up to it.
How excited are you to go back to the office, or not at all?
I'm excited. I love the face-to-face. I love talking to people, and also it's a big difference when you're there, when you're, smelling the perfumes and trying on the makeup and seeing people's reactions. And I like it. I love that. But I have to say that I've also really enjoyed working from home, and at the same time, working from home with people I would have had to travel to or never thought I could have worked with because they were so far away. So I think it was, like I always say, some doors close and others open.
And what is your biggest challenge as a leader?
I think the biggest challenge of any leader is rising up to the occasion and rising up to the responsibility. And as an individual, personally, and as somebody who represents, a brand, Caroline Herrera, I think that's always the biggest challenge. Do things responsibly, make choices responsibly, and always have that in mind. Never lose that perspective, both as a person and as working as creative director of Herrera Beauty.
And this links to a sentence something you said to Vogue Business, the website or mother website, which is companies are made of humans and humans have social responsibilities. So what is your social mission today?
I think the social mission today is to be responsible, to integrate, to be respectful, to be inclusive, to make beautiful products with responsible ingredients, and to have that voice that speaks to everybody but never loses the brand DNA.
Yes, but you also did work to help people with COVID, because I was reading it online. You had some projects, right?
Yes, and that was amazing, and we came together very fast as a response to COVID. First by making masks, then making EPIs, and then we did the Heart for Hope Foundation, which was working with the Red Cross and the Red Cross Crescent. To all accessories, we gave 10% of all accessories sold to the Red Cross and Red Cross Crescent to help people who were suffering the consequences of COVID. And I think that was very, very exciting. And as a company, we don't stop doing things. And as a person, I don't stop doing things. It's something that has to happen all the time, I think. As individuals, as companies, as parents, as everything, always constantly having that in the forefront.
Also, always having a social mission, right? Today and tomorrow.
And you can do anything. It doesn't have to be in a huge, big donation, or it's just a matter of helping however you can. And that's what I tell my children always. They can do a little grain goes a long way.
And which values have guided you throughout your professional journey?
I think the values that I've either learned, I've learned them from my mother, when we worked together in the perfumes, and then things that I've been taught by my parents that I'm teaching my children. And I think it's honesty, responsibility, respect, generosity. Generosity, responsibility, respect, giving back, humility. And I think, all that is very important, but it's very important in business and it's very important in life.
And what have you learned about leadership through observing your mother?
She's a wonderful leader, and she's a wonderful leader at home, and she's a wonderful leader at the office. And I've learned many things from her. She's tenacious, she's humble, she's generous, she's strong. She's a strong leader, but she's also very sweet and knows how to say things and listens to people. And then I think something that is very important as a leader, and something that I've learned from her is that, always have your soul intact. Like she's always said, never listen or believe what people say about you, even if it's great or if it's bad. Like always have that, that path that's very part of your soul.
The brand Caroline Herrera is 40 years old. How do you explain it being around for so long and still being relevant as a brand?
I think that's, holding on to a particular style. Carolina Herrera has a style, but at the same time, it evolves with the times. I think you can't, get stuck. You have to always evolve with the times, but never lose your core vision, never lose, I think Carolina Herrera is feminine, it's modern, it's contemporary, but it's very Carolina Herrera. And I think that's great. That brand DNA and that Carolina DNA is always there. Alegría de vivir, colorful, femininity, glamorous, beautiful.
When did you feel most proud of yourself as a leader?
That's a hard question because I don't necessarily consider myself all the time a leader. I think if you ask me that, I'd have to say whenever, I felt really proud with all the efforts we've done throughout this past year and seeing those results, and seeing how we've come together as a team when things were difficult and seeing how we've come together as a company and as a team with the Heart for Hope Foundation and the results we had for that. And seeing how we've, moved everybody along to be optimistic, to be happy, and to know that we were going to have their backs and we were going to keep moving forward.
How do you boost your creativity?
I don't think I do anything in particular. I think it's having my eyes open, my ears open, being curious, and never taking anything for granted. Anything, a movie I see, a book I read, a conversation I have with somebody I meet. And I think being always on that loop of curiosity and thirst for knowledge and, out for beauty. I'm always looking out for things and trying to learn from things that confuse me and things that maybe I don't love and why I don't love them. And that takes me to in a different path. Just curiosity, I think, is never lose your curiosity.
So, do you think that being creative is an exercise, or people are born creative, or some people are more creative than other, or do you think that creativity is about
I think it's a
exercising?
mix of everything. I think some people are just extremely creative. And I also think you can cultivate your creativity because I don't think anything is final. I don't think anybody who's extremely creative is not constantly looking and searching, and maybe not necessarily for creativity, but I think for inspiration and things that feed that creativity. I think the most creative people I know are also the most curious.
And when do you feel most creative?
When do I feel most creative? When I'm usually, it comes on a plane. I actually feel quite creative on a plane. When I'm very quiet, when there's quiet, or when I wake up in the morning or late at night, when my head is going and going. And sometimes when I see something extremely beautiful that just, hits my soul, or when I read a book that just touches me. Sometimes there I have that just, lets out this creative path that doesn't stop.
What advice would you give to a young career woman who's just starting?
Love what you do. Don't give up. When doors close, another one opens. And, be tenacious. There's a lot of no's on the way. And that's just the way life is, but we can't give up. There's always a way around it. I feel very strongly that sometimes, obstacles are opportunities for growth. And I think I, in a personal level, have seen it in this past year. And as a company, as Carolina Herrera Beauty and Fragrances, I've also seen it. I've seen everybody rise to the occasion.
And from a woman, in the case you, who just got vaccinated and is living in Spain and seeing the world opening up, what is your optimistic message to us in Brazil?
I think everything arrives at some point, and I think the world is definitely going to opening up. I think we have to be responsible. I think some of our the way we do things has changed. I think we've all recapitulated and thought about what how we've lived and how we want to live and how we want to be responsible. But I think all that is very optimistic. And I am an optimistic person anyway, but I've seen it. I see it in Spain. I see it in New York when I've been there. And I think the world will move forward and we will come out of this. But we all have to put a little bit of grain in that. And always optimism.
Carolina, eu tenho duas convidadas muito especiais que querem te fazer uma pergunta. A primeira delas, Camila Coutinho, influencer e fundadora do GE Beauty. Cami, sua pergunta para Carolina.
Oi, gente, eu sou Camila Coutinho, CEO e fundadora de Garotas Estúpidas e de GE Beauty. Eu tô muito feliz de estar aqui na primeira edição do Vogue Negócios. E eu tenho uma pergunta para Caroline Herrera Júnior. Carolina, de empreendedora, para super empreendedora, inovadora e que tem uma marca que tem muita história. Eu queria saber de você, como é que você reage quando as coisas não vão do jeito que você imaginava? Quando um plano que você fez não deu certo. Como é que você lida com essa sensação? Beijo.
Oh, that's a great question, because you know what? Before, I used to maybe have like an internal tantrum. And I think now I just take a deep breath and I think, I have a choice. My choice is how to react, because I can't control how things are going to work out. So I now choose how to react. And I think I leave that door open for it to change or do something to change the way things are turned out. But I try not to get crazy anymore when things don't go my way.
Bom, e temos a Anitta, que dispensa apresentações, que também tem uma pergunta para você sobre liderança.
E eu tenho uma pergunta para Caroline Herrera de Baez, uma das palestrantes. Qual é a maior dificuldade na hora de agradar públicos de diversos países?
That is actually absolutely impossible. So I think what we do is we launch a perfume, a fragrance that we love, that has the brand DNA with the best quality ingredients, with a certain, audience in mind. And we hope it reaches as many people as possible. And, the beauty of fragrance is that it's an emotional, we create this emotional connection. So usually that emotional connection, grabs as many people as we hope. But it's actually quite impossible to please everybody.
Thank you so much, Carolina. Thank you for sharing your experiences and insights with us here at Vogue Negócios. Thanks. Bom, depois desse papo inspirador com a Carolina, passo para a primeira mesa desse primeiro dia, cujo tema ecoa um dos principais valores da Vogue e da nova economia, a criatividade. Até já.